Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wise Woman Wednesdays. My name is Jennifer Regular. I am a soul-centered empowerment coach at Lighting the Path and also your host here at the show. This is where I bring women inspired from around the world who are sharing their story, what lit their path, how they came to embody their truth, and how they're inspiring others to do that as well. Today, I have someone all the way from the other end of the world in Melbourne, Australia. Her name is Adela. Welcome, Adela.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I'll tell the audience a little bit more about you. Adela was intuitively guided and connected with love and light. She shines with a radiance of empowered feminine energy, which is both her strength and her passion. She also offers coaching and healing sessions, movement classes, a range of workshops, and women's circles, encouraging you to reconnect and reawaken your own feminine energy through movement classes to align you with your sensuality and the power of the divine feminine. At times wild and joyful, her classes have been described as the awakening of the goddess within. Adela also creates a range of beautiful feminine lingerie, together with a pack of daily personal power cards. Her work brings us to the very core of feminine energy and all of its strengths: wild, open, expansive, sensual, empowered, and joyful. And today she's here to share the wisdom of our body and the power of movement. So wonderful that you're here, and I'm so excited to hear how this became your passion, Adela. Share.
So it all started with disease that no one was able to analyze and do anything with that. And I was seeking alternative things because I didn't feel it would be right to do it with a traditional medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was blessed enough to find an amazing doctor who just sit me down and he gave me options such as going to the church, listening, some videotapes from alternative people. And there was Aura Soma, which is color therapy. And there was a book from Osho, from medication to meditation.
Oh,
and
yes.
It caught my eye, and I got the book right away. And that's how I started with meditation and really going inwards and trying to understand how my body is communicating with me and why this is happening to me. And I've been always drawn in to understand things with a natural curiosity on a deeper level, and I wanted to know more. And actually this curiosity, it's been following me for forever, so until now. So I'm really loving to be open to new ways of living, new ways of thinking, and really knowing and getting to know myself better.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more each day, and connecting to my body and being able to communicate with it and listening it, because it just tells you everything. It tells you everything about you. And there many of us had the experience being numb for ages, and it's a great gift to open to this wisdom and being able to follow what it actually tells you.
That is so beautiful. Yes, and sometimes the pain, the illness, or disease can really call us out, right? And say, hey, I'm here, connect with me. And you did that. You listened and you found ways to be able to get to know very deeply your body and its wisdom and what it's here to teach you, and how you can actually embody this temple, this being, this earth suit, you can even call it, that we have here, and to really pay attention to what arises when you start to pay attention and to listen, and to find healing in that as well. So what was the healing journey like when you learned about Osho and the body's wisdom and started listening? What kind of information were you receiving? What did you uncover?
Well, it was, I have to say, a little bit bumpy. And I try too many things at once. It's good to concentrate on one thing and, let it unfold and taking one step at a time. But I'm very impulsive and impatient person. So I wanted to know it all, right away.
Yeah.
So it was bumpy, and it's been processed, I have to say, to gain this understanding and really listen. But developing, and especially in the meditation, this quiet space when
Mm.
I'm feeling my feelings, and I'm allowing myself to feel. So this is how it started. And then slowly, asking the body, um, because it's quiet for some time, and just being patient to really listen, because it's just like maybe little tickle in the beginning, and then it's becoming louder. And what I love the most, um, about this communication with body, that I learn to listen yes and no. So my body shows me when I have a
Mm.
question. So my body shows me if it's a yes or no. And this is such a great tool when you just, when you don't know and you need the answer, and you just ask your body, and it's always right. It's this gut feeling, this intuition talking to you through your body. And you can learn how to use this.
Yes, and there's so many different types of meditation and ways of finding that stillness. I know for myself, I'm not very good at sitting still. So for me, movement and dance is where I get to unwind and to move into my body and to really feel that, and to I even close my eyes and I can feel inside and what emotions are there and what the thoughts start to dissipate. And I feel more that I come into my body. Whereas quite often I can be very externally focused, on everything
Mm.
that's outside of me. And I find movement and dance brings me inside. And there's the color therapy, like you mentioned, or people listen to music or chant, or they do the stillness meditation, or they use a mantra. What type of meditation did you find most useful for you?
There's many I enjoy. I'm quite a visual person, so I love to
Uh,
visualize, and things are coming to me very easy in in a vision and colors and shapes. Um, but what I love is the movement meditation, and
mhm.
this is something I teach and I guide. And me, as being former dancer, I've been always, into choreography and watching myself and trying to look good and all of that. But then I discovered that there's another way of dancing actually. What if I can dance just to feel good, and it doesn't have to look good, but it's
Mhm.
about to move the energy and releasing whatever is there and whatever needs to drop. So use it as a healing, to just listen how I need to move and what's coming up for me. And let's say I did this amazing class, which was incredible yesterday, and we were embodying joy. So, how would you move if your body is joy? How would you move? And you start to move as joy, as love, whatever intention you set up. And then you start to feel like kind of shining through you, and you become it. And as you move it, you have the energy to kind of, like just tickle all over you, and it's just such a beautiful tool, and you really feel it. It's really feel it, and it's beautiful. It's different than regular meditation when you in stillness. It's more
Mhm.
dynamic, more, I would say, in activation. But it's just beautiful, and I just love to do that.
That is so wonderful. And so, do you do the movement classes in a group or a class, like a class with several people, or just one-on-one, or small groups? How do you like to teach people and move them through this process?
I'm doing both. So I love to do one-to-one sessions. We're doing that over Zoom, and newly in my beautiful sacred space here. So everyone is welcome to get in touch with me and do my sessions in Melbourne. And I'm planning to do, it's gonna be 1 or 2 months to do my classes actually on St. Kilda. So I found a beautiful space. So I would like to bring those classes finally live after this, quiet time we had. And I run Embodiment Woman Circle for our sacred community.
Mm.
It's sacredyou.love, and we're catching up every Tuesday fortnight. And I have so many beautiful, beautiful ladies, and it's just a pleasure do that work, really. And I'm offering from everyone around the world, also sessions 1-to-1 over Zoom.
What kind of process do you take people through for the embodiment classes?
So it's usually for my group sessions, I intuitively choose this theme that it's coming up for me and which I feel that would be beneficial. So as example, yesterday we had joy and before we had celebration. So always I choose those topics, and there's always a bit how to incorporate them into your life. So I give the tools how you can connect with joy on every day, and you can choose which one works for you the best. So this is about really, changing and transforming. It's not about just come and show up and 1 hour and that's it. It's about growing and really transforming your life around it and bringing those little tools into the action. Whatever it feels for you, feels good for you, of course. So there is no force. There's no force. It's just, let's say, I would say inspiration. And then, so we have the theme. If I have 1-to-1 clients, I always listen whatever's coming for the particular person, and I use again intuitive guidance. So I just let speak whatever speaks through me. Sometimes
yes,
I don't
that's
know.
beautiful.
And the important piece is the meditation or activation. Sometimes it's more quiet, more still, and sometimes it's more activation and dynamic.
Yes, explain a little bit about activation and what that means for you and how that might show up.
Yeah. So, but in this deep connection, excuse me. So it's about going to this deeper state, and I use light language, which is, if you imagine Reiki, you have this boost of energy. So light language, it's a form of healing or activation, which speaks to your soul. So it doesn't need to be perceived or understood by your mind, but it speaks to your heart, and it's truly magical. And this is how I do the activation. So I incorporate the light language into the healings, and it is like just a boost of energy, like electricity sometimes. This is what I heard from my feedback if I do the activate. So I have two kind of, let's say, there's a range of languages, but when we're doing the healing bit, it's more like a nurturing and gentle. It's like a whispering. And then we have the activation, which is more dynamic, and it really kind of, you feel it from the earth going through you and just move you, and it is very dynamic. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing experience for sure. And what kind of transformation have you witnessed that you've seen happen with some of the students that come?
So this particular woman comes to my mind, and beautiful soul. And there was challenge with the confidence, and there was job involved which she didn't enjoy, and I witnessed, and it was so amazing when she just said enough for her, and she just left, and she opened herself to new opportunities. So actually things are starting to happen to her since she started to trust in herself, and she anchored herself, that she was able to say no, enough, and that's it. I'm better than that, and I'm worth it.
Wow. To make a choice like that and to really go for what you stand for, and when you've had enough of something, when it's just not a good fit anymore, it's no longer aligned, and then you create space for that movement and the opportunity to come and to say yes to that, and to step more fully into who you are now and what supports you along this path, this higher level path, to cultivate an integrated higher consciousness model of living through these choices and this movement and the transformation and tending to the body and really embodying your truth. It sounds like you really bring people into that, which is pretty awesome and inspiring. So thank you so much for the work that you do. And it's inspiring for others too to be able to connect with that, for going from pain to passion, really, right, is what sounds like your journey's been. And to support other people in doing that as well, if something's just not right in their lives, to be able to transform that into what is true in their lives now, and that is more aligned with who they are and where they can be a fuller expression of who they are. And what wonderful way to be able to do that through movement and dance, and what a way to embody that through body movements, of course. Yes. So how did you come to learn light language?
Well, I don't believe it's something to be learned. I believe that it's seated within us.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever's blocking the way. So I was activated by my mentor. It wasn't my intention. I entered this course and I had no idea what I'm doing, but it felt right to me. So sometimes, stepping into the unknown and trusting, because it's calling, and you don't have to know the answers, what is it for? It's our mind all the time, chattering.
That's right.
Be able to switch it off and just open to the opportunities and wait and see. That's what I've done. And I witnessed this course, and here I was activated, and I was speaking this language. It was just completely surreal for me. But it's one of the most beautiful gifts I was given, and I'm thankful every day for it. I use it every day for myself, and it's amazing to be able to use it for others and share it, because it's an incredible experience.
Yes. And it sounds like you really have a lot of trust in your own intuition and what comes to you, and encouraging others to trust as well, like this woman that you spoke about, and how she learned to anchor and to trust again as well. And you spoke about soul too, and letting go of the mind and all the chatter, and just stepping into or aligning with soul. And like you say, there's not so much that we're learning, it's more like we're uncovering. We're letting go of anything that's not real or that's not us, and seeing what arises then. And when we're connected to the right people, like you with your mentor, then those seeds that you already had to be able to speak the light language and to be able to share that gets activated, because then we're aligned with the right people in the right place and in the right situations. Those conditions are there to give rise to what's meant to come up and come through. So you're right. There's not so much about trying to seek or understand. It's just being able to tune in to what your gifts are, and to be able to unpack that and to be able to share that. And I'm so grateful that you're here to be able to talk about that, how it is possible, right? That you have all of these seeds and these gifts that are already inside of you, that can be brought about by someone who cares and who listens, and who gives you the space for being able to share that gift then. And then as we start sharing those gifts, we become more confident and be able to trust them more, be able to intuit more. Your level of intuition elevates then, and you open up to even more possibilities that way. And so I find that really inspiring, and it's beautiful to be able to take inspired action, and also beautiful to take aligned action. Yeah. And because when we keep what's true in front of us, we don't get lost that way either. And we know exactly where we need to be doing what we need to be doing, and come to know ourselves even more, and be able to trust and embrace that full power that we do have already.
You said it so beautifully, and I feel that once you witness the magic happens, that when you really trust, and it's going to be okay, then you can really live in another way, like in the old way.
Right.
Once you know, it's like a test. It's like, oh God, universe, show me this is true.
Yes.
And it shows you, and you see those signs, and it's like, oh my God, this is like no joke. This actually exists. And there's the way to have to bring this magic into your life, you know, every day, and make
You're
things
so
happen.
right.
When it's,
Yes.
I love when it's flowing to you, right? Like no forcement. I love what I've heard, and for a long time I didn't know this, that actually doing is same valuable as being. It's same valuable, and we don't realize that because we always want to do, and we forgot how to be, especially us as a women, and we forget how to have joy, how to feel the joy, how to enjoy little bits.
Yes, yes, you are so right. And so tell us more then about the divine feminine. What is all that about in the feminine power? Because even men would have that feminine energy as well, and women have the masculine energy as well. So, what are you talking about when you say feminine power and feminine energy? Can you explain that a little bit for the audience?
How would I explain that? It's so complex.
Yeah.
I see feminine as stillness, but there's a wildness. It's just so many playfulness, no force, softness, compassion, love, mystery. There's darkness, but there's a light always there. So as I see to work with feminine, masculine, the favorite technique I like to use, it's just to imagine, just to tune in and imagine you're in a woman and connect with her. And you're in a man, and then you see everything. You see how she looks like, how he looks like. Are they in harmony? Are they loving each other? Are they in balance? And this is how it reflects your life, how you live. And just visualize the woman as you wish her to be, and the man. This is how you can create and recreate and change your behavior and whatever's happening around you, to actually giving them the attention and giving them the love, because that's what they need. I see they live inside of you. They are you, right? And I know there's sometimes it's disbalance, and there's a plenty of women, they think they masculine, and they don't know how to bring this feminine. And then it's just this little technique to just looking at the inner woman and seeing, then she might be there like crazy woman choking the man, right? Just being in dominance, and just changing this story that's been living inside of you, to just bringing them into alignment and make them hold hands. It might take some time, but this sounds very simple, but it's so effective. It's incredible. And you see what's actually happening. And you can talk to them, right? You can ask your inner woman, what do you need right now? What can I do for you? To your inner man, how can I embody you more? The man I wish to have inside of me. How can I have you two in balance? How can I create a married couple out of you so you're happy? You know.
And how do you help women to tap into their sensuality? There's been a lot of, different opinions and perceptions and confusion around, sexuality and sensuality, and names to be called in certain ways. And there's beauty and there's that feminine power. So how do you help women bring all that into balance, and to help them embody themselves as a sensual being? How do you support them in that? Or what would you tell someone who's struggling with that?
So I would say it is not about how you look. It's nothing about the outside, how you move. It's coming from the inside, of course. And by connecting deeply to you, and by getting to you more better, then it's just starting to show up on the outside when you look after the inner world, which is the foundation. And when you have those two guys, your inner woman and man, in balance, then it's time to show this natural femininity, not this kind of shadow, you know, controlling and forcing, you know, like forcing, trying to be sexy, trying to be someone she's not. But when you let the truth speak through you, and when you let this true in a woman to come to the light and become you, then it comes the flow, the softness, playfulness, which is true you. It's not the blast you hiding in the mud, you know. Sometimes you have the things undercovered from the things you learn from experiences, because it sometimes may be hurtful to show who you are because you've been hurt. So that's what you believe. But as you grow, you're starting to feel safe with it. So the safety, it's a big theme. To be safe in your body and to be safe with who you are.
Right.
And to be vulnerable. So slowly uncovering those things and really getting to the core of your own feminine, to your heart and to your soul. And it's starting to happen, and the woman start to move differently. She start to dress up differently. It's not about changing the closet, you know, so you look sensual. It doesn't work that way.
If you're really feeling safe in the body and getting to know your whole inner landscape, the man and the woman in there, and your feelings and what might be hidden, and to try to uncover that from inside and bring it back out into the light again. Beautiful, beautiful words and explanation. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. You just exude beauty and radiance and love and joy and playfulness and the wildness and the softness and the gentleness too. So it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show today. What final words would you have for our audience? What would you really want them to know while they're still listening here?
I would say bring more love into life and more joy. And I love to start a day with, what is the most loving thing I can do for myself today?
Oh, I love that. What is the most loving thing I can do for myself today? That's really beautiful. Really beautiful. And there's so much of you and your gifts to share. So please tell us, how would people get in touch with you, Adela?
So I have a Facebook page, Living Sensually. And yeah, that's the main way how to connect with me. And as I mentioned before, I'm host of the Embodiment Woman Circle in our Sacred community, which is also on Facebook, and the website is sacredyou.love.
Perfect. Thank you. And we'll put those links in the show notes for everybody too, so you can just click into that there. Thank you so much, Adela, for joining us today. It was such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's my honor to be here with you and experience our beautiful, beautiful connection. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you for all who've been listening and watching. Thank you for joining us in Wise Women Wednesdays. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.